Hello, folks.
How's it going, everyone? And we got Nicole on the line. We got Amanda. This is nice.
Christine, I sent you a previous copy. I'm still updating some stuff.
Oh, you did. Thank you.
Yes, I didn't forget about you. Can't fail twice. Can't do that.
Nice. That's cool.
So I'll send another updated version this week. I'll talk through some of the stuff on there. And then I did have an item I wanted to bring up for the group that I think might be some very visible. Hi, Sira.
Okay.
That might be a good visible kind of short-term thing we might be able to do.
Perfect.
Yeah, Christine went old school. She went old school and was able to look back at some archives and piece together the spreadsheet from old screenshots. I was like, man, that was a trick we used back in the day when you couldn't get all the way to the admin creds, but you could get somebody who might have had, if you pilfered enough, you found some screenshots or something, you found some type of information, you just piece it all together in aggregate. I was like, man, whoa, jeez.
I lost the whole key. That's what really hurt me. The whole key was blank, and the key is what explains what goes in which data fields. So that hurt my feelings, because I felt like at least you had a key, even though everything's not filled out. So then people can look and know what goes in what field going through it. And that went away. And I was really sad about it. And really mad at Google and Microsoft and everybody else who I have back up my stuff.
Oh, because I guess if you had actually done a preview, we would have been able to take a screenshot.
Well, yeah, see, I had like 30 of the orgs done on the sheet. So that really hurt me. Between that and the key, I was just like, I can't. Oh my God.
That's all right. We'll give everybody another, let's see, where are we at now? All right, we'll see if, does anybody know if Sal's gonna join or Max? I'd like to give
Sal won't be here.
Okay, Sal won't be here. Okay, cool. So then we can get moving then. Hello, welcome to this edition to the DEI education subcommittee meeting. I'm in the car right now. I could show myself, because all you'll see is me and the steering wheel and God as we travel along this road here. A couple of items we have coming up, the open source summit, and I won't have the agenda screen in front of me. So if we have agenda items, keep me honest with those agenda items. We have the summit coming up. We have a couple of, I know Sal's got something going on with one of her mentees. Christine and I will be up there with a birds of a feather, or is it a birds of, or they just give us like 5 minutes, something like that.
They gave us 5 minutes.
Either way, we'll be there for 5 minutes, and we'll probably take 10 as well. Forgiveness and permission to get it. But we'll all be there, and we'll all be able to grab a coffee or something. Or the last time, I think Christine and I had lobster rolls. Is that what we did the last time, Christine? We had lobster rolls?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. But maybe we can do something like that again. That being the case, we have Nicole back. We have our spreadsheet, at least a version thereof, so that we have something to now work off of again. So that's great news. I'll stop there. What do we have on the agenda to go over first?
Yeah. So there is OpenSSF, Open Source Summit EU. And I think Probes has been talking about this in the other groups. And I was hoping some folks who are from Europe would be here so that they could say, yes, we'll go. But I
would love to put in like a CFP for that, but with the current state of play, if I don't even know, I'm still debating on whether or not I got to come out of my pocket for the Open Summit. So that's where we're, for this open summit, that's where we're at now. I mean, I'll be there, but goodness gracious, budgets are tight.
Yeah. Crow has his hand up.
I am submitting talks and we'll figure out if they actually get accepted.
So
That'll be a future problem.
Yes, what Crow is saying is we do the CFPs and worry about it later. Amanda says yes.
Yeah, we can always send another body too. So I plan to be there. Let's see if it's approved.
Okay. And I guess we can always repeat and try the exact same talks. Max is here.
Okay, so that was the open summit. What do we have next?
We got like the spreadsheet, and Nicole said she wanted to bring something up related to the spreadsheet. And Nicole, was there a particular?
Nicole, you have the floor.
See, yeah. So a couple of things on the spreadsheet.
And I'll also share my screen because this is like.
I got it. You got it?
Let's
see. Share. Yeah, I got it. Okay. With this spreadsheet here, in light of everything that's going on, I'm not sure if everybody is aware, but the OMB has been having a series of town halls and meetings regarding the current racial classification in the US. And some of the groups' names are about to change. So I have asterisked all those on the sheet. Names that are probably going to change. I'm not sure what the new name is gonna be. But I have highlighted some of those there. The impacted name groups here on the spreadsheet. Obviously, I still have to go in and finish adding some examples here and any other details. I put a link down here at the bottom to the OMB initiative. I know their last day for open calls is tomorrow. But it seems from the previous town halls that some group names as we know them on the standard form are going to change. And so that would be something we would need to make sure that we update on the sheet. There are 3 specific questions, like one, Middle East, North Africa might be a new category on the sheet. That's one of the ones up there. There has been a call from Black Americans to change the name African American to Black with different subcategories on there. And there's also a question about Hispanic to be included, or Latino. So I don't really know what new names are going to be, but I do know there's been a lot of comments and a lot of suggestions. There's not a leading one. So I just want to make sure that's called out there and we're aware about it. The other ones I just linked to certain nonprofit organizations. I still need to copy one for physical and intellectual disability and add it here. I said before, I'm not a DEI name specialist, so I hope not to offend anyone. I took the best guess I could with trying to describe some of the names. Defining women was a little bit challenging for me. So for the orgs list here, I still have a few more I need to add, but as of right now, I'm at 58, I think. Well, 55, but I know I have about 5 or 6 more orgs that I need to add on here. I've started the first few up here and I added the founding year and the corporate sponsors as we previously discussed. I haven't really gone back and updated it. I also expanded out here. So we have the website, LinkedIn group, and any other contact information as it pertains to it. But I think we were trying to get an idea of the organizational size and the corporate sponsors. So that is up there. Still needs a review. As far as for the conferences, this was another page I took a huge L on. But I did fill out two or three conferences here, so you can see what it is actually filled out. I will go ahead and update some of those, like RSA and Black Hat. They're not per se DEI, but they do have a big DEI focus in there, and they do sponsor, like RSA sponsors a lot of groups to bring in DEI groups for free to attend the conference. So I think some of those should be noted. Not really sure how to fully capture all the B-side stuff, but it's there. That's something to be looked at later on. And then what I have here is a key. So up here, up top, it talks about what actually goes into the fields here. And then here, I went through each one of the spreadsheets. So then there's a description, example, and format, so people know what needs to go in which thing by spreadsheet. Probably a little cleanup here with organization owner. That could probably be the same under orgs, lists, and conferences, but here's something here to get us started. That's something that can be kind of fixed later on. And then last here is references. I still have some I need to add here. These were existing URLs that I found that had list of different groups. After looking and going through this, I definitely say the neurodivergent groups is probably something to kind of focus on and get some additional names. The best one I found that had stuff listed was a neurodivergent group for the UK. Most of the neurodivergent groups for the US are like initiatives, like there's initiatives between SANS and women in cybersecurity, and they have a neurodivergent, but standalone organizations, not as much, and I still need to beef up some of the veterans ones. But just update to kind of get started. Wasn't sure if there was something else from a bigger area I need to add on here before I update it to the Slack. Christine has a copy as well.
Thank you. Love it. I love it. As now, is it okay if I either upload this version into a Google Docs where more people can collaborate, or merge it into the one that was already created?
Sure. The only thing from my standpoint is just making sure we have all the initial fields and categories that we want to start with. That would be my only thing. So then it can just be more people adding on and us getting to whatever our first level of completion is, right? So if we want to make sure we got 40 orgs clearly defined, and then, you know, that's where you cut it to show to people, and then we still are working on other ones, that's fine. I'm just trying to make sure we have all the right fields here, where people can look across and gather the information that they need, especially, I guess, from our standpoint, as far as initiatives we want to get behind. A future thing, I'm thinking about another tab for kind of organizations that kind of provide training to kind of link in here. I don't know if it needs to be in this first cut, vice making sure we list the orgs and the conferences, but I think that's a future piece to add to the sheet.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. So
if I can get access to it, I know direct contacts for several of the organizations.
Yeah, so I will.
So do we want to have a I think that's a good point. Do we want to have another column that we have POCs and we keep that internally within the group versus what we might publicly put out? Because I know there was part of this that there is no list, right? So that's why I'm saying, like, with the categories, because I'm sure with a lot of people here, we probably do have some good POCs. And I do think that should be maintained on a list for us as a group. But I don't know if we push that out publicly.
Yeah. What are people's thoughts on that for the POC?
I think that it should be an internal thing and not shared. Because again, some people are more conscientious about their privacy than others. So we want to make sure we respect that.
Okay. So
yeah, we can treat it. We can treat it like a CRM.
Mhm.
Okay. So I will take the action item of moving copying your sheet or making it a Google Doc sheet and then share it across. I might even just use the same link that I had for the ones and just like replace the tabs and then share it out as well. So then Nicole, once I do that, you can kind of like put any updates in that. And anybody who wants access to add columns, I'll share based on the Gmail information or email that you have in the subcommittee information.
Okay.
I
So
got a
like I said,
go ahead.
I will upload this to Slack too, just so some people can see and be familiar with it. I was going to add a couple of information, like I probably might go back and just check these corporate sponsors for the first 10. I just want to make sure there's a completed example on most of the sheets. And then also ask some people to look at some of the category names to make sure it's not offending anybody.
Okay. Yeah, do you want to like start working on that tomorrow? Because I can upload this stuff by the end of the day.
Yeah, it
so that
shouldn't.
people-
Yeah, it shouldn't change what you need to upload. You should just be
Okay.
able to just add this information on top of it. Because I would at this point just be filling in cells.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I just want to make
You
sure
see what
I
I'm
don't wanna
saying?
give you duplicate. Yeah, I don't want to give you duplicate work. All right.
Yeah, so you
Okay.
should be able to just take any updated cell information because that's what I'm focused on. I don't think I need to add any more categories, but that's why I said I just put the raw sheet in Slack in case somebody else thinks of something that's not covered, just to give a snapshot.
Okay.
And then I think between me and you, Christine, we can make those adjustments.
Yeah, and I'll share the link for the one that we'll use. It'll probably be the same link that we have in this group.
So a question I want to pose, and this is based on Max's comment in the chat. One that changed from gender to underrepresented gender and tech community, and you put down a few qualifications. I'd hit that and say, why don't we just say any gender identity? I don't because my fear here is that although this is going to continue to be a working document, my fear here is that as people continue to not just for the purpose of the group, but for the purpose of self, individually identify, that list and those names could be just as fluid as the changing of the underrepresented group that we have here in the asterisks. If we just put any gender identity, that eliminates the need to change, and also it takes you are becoming more inclusive because now you're not rendering someone to a specific. That this is just my suggestion. Of course, I'm willing to hear what everybody else says, but you're not. We are all individuals in cyber and tech, regardless of whether you're male or female, and that shouldn't matter one way or the other. So any gender identity should move here, but I'm willing to hear the suggestions and input from others who might be directly or indirectly affected by making a qualification such as this.
I like the
agree with your comment.
change.
Yeah, I think sorry, just to jump in here, I was kind of waiting my turn to mention the gender piece. I mean, men are not an underrepresented group, right? So, the column heading's underrepresented groups. So it's really a mechanism for defining, catch-alls for underrepresented genders in, in tech or in cybersecurity. I'm very flexible about how we do that, right?
Okay. Oh no, I'm with you. Based on that logic, underrepresented gender, I'm with it. I hell, I would even say, don't even put in tech security, just underrepresented gender, period.
Yeah, that's fine. And then the description, we can add some of the listing in there so people know. So I think a lot of the time people don't know who's underrepresented, right? Awesome.
Okay, so like I said, once it goes up, feel free to change it. I have no prior authorship. I was just trying to make sure I had the category there.
No, this is out once again. I mean, God, the extra work that goes into this, and this makes even more of a business case for our proposal for the larger initiative. So that I mean, this right here, especially when you're looking at the ones in asterisk that we've been talking about now for the last 10 or 20 years. I mean, I got there's conversations about some of these that go back. I remember a old interview that Smokey Robinson gave. Now, this was like 20 years ago. This is 20 years ago. Anyway, excellent work.
Yeah, so like I said, we can revisit after some more direction has come out from OMB, but any group that uses Hispanic, Middle East, North Africa, and Black gonna have a name change. I'm pretty sure from the one town hall that I listened to. I don't know what it's gonna be. Nobody was in agreement on what the term would be, so I'm not sure. And I'm not sure how they're gonna subdivide Asian continent, so. Okay, so I will cut and make sure I update that there, and anybody can feel free to make changes to those.
Yeah, one thing I noticed from like going through at least the information that I had as a snapshot is a lot of the organizations and communities are very much US centric. Maybe your list of organization has a lot more, but it feels like we probably need to beef up the other areas.
The international ones.
International part, yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree. Like I said, I was just trying to get us a good nucleus to start from. Yeah, we're just going to be expanding. And like I said, I initially did initial comb through LinkedIn with some of the stuff. So as we further use the information to determine who we go with, then we can add subcategories.
Yeah, definitely. But this will be like a good call to action for some of our partners or some of the folks who have a little bit more experience in the international area to help us fill that in as well.
And I think it'll be a good product because no one has that product out there.
Yeah.
And trying to align all of the inclusion organizations to be inclusive.
Yep.
Thank you for all this, Nicole. This is amazing work. We really appreciate you taking the charge on this.
This will be a focal point of any other. As I said before last time, I'm trying to get Nithya on the call at the LF level, see if we can align on DE&I across the LF and all that kind of stuff. This spreadsheet will be a focal point of that conversation. Like I said, this work here, it's a first of its kind. You don't see it anywhere else. Other organizations will be asking us for this kind of work once they get wind of it, just because it's consolidated and in one place like this. Excellent.
Jay, if you need help with the LF communication, let me know. I'm an insider.
Word up. Yeah. And I gotta come out there and see you too. I noticed you got the BJJ shirt on there. All right, I need to get a few rolls in. All right, I need to get a few rolls in. You know what I mean? I need to dust off my gear and my belts a little bit.
I call them the spider webs.
Get
those spider webs.
Get them spider
Come through.
webs.
It's hot down here.
That's the only way to train. All right, next we got up roadmap focused areas for the mobilization, the education mobilization plan. Who threw that one up there? Wants to comment on that a little bit?
Yeah, I put that in there. I was hoping Sal would be on the call, but one of the things that I know the governing board are kind of like looking through the funding, and if there's any kind of like roadmap tweaks or things that we think we can work on right now, regardless of where funding goes, those are the kind of items that would have been interesting to talk about now. Or is there anything we need to clarify regarding the roadmap? I was hoping Sal would be on the call because she would probably know the most about that. So
okay, well, we'll table it for next time with Sal.
yeah.
Go ahead.
But I know we've talked in the past about like the portfolio review and mentorship, and it's been conversation and we have some notes, but I would love to see if we can get those items actually put into the plan, because those are, I think, pretty concrete and cheap to do. I don't know that they cost a lot of money. It's just volunteer donation of time mainly. And I think that would be an excellent build, because we thought that those would be very impactful to the new folks coming up through the career path.
Okay, so portfolio review and mentorship, right?
Okay.
So probably just do a PR for something like that and just send it. Okay.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a lot of words, but again, we've talked about it. We talked about it many times, and it seems to be those are high impact tasks. So I think if we can at least get those in there, it's a start.
Okay, so I'll file a PR.
We're getting a few additions to the agenda happening here, and they're all coming from Jasenia, it appears. So go ahead, Jasenia, take it away.
Woots. So our mentorship is open. I kind of spammed Slack this morning. So if you can share with any entry level that is interested in software security engineering, so building out the tool chain or security research, that would be amazing. I reached out to the one you sent me, Jay, let her know and reminded her. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And then on the Alpha Omega side, our university program, I shared our document. It's like an outline of how we're envisioning it. And then Purdue is going to set up a 3 VIP team to tackle some of the open source ecosystem issues. And that's their document. So just sharing for visibility and extra brains.
Excellent. And I know that you said this is getting ready for the fall, right? So are you still on target for the fall?
For the fall, yes, we have Purdue in the fall and then UT Dallas for the fall. The mentorship in the summer, we're going to be using that kind of as the pilot. And then anything that's worked there, it's going to be transferred over to the fall. I think the next step would start securing spring, or what is it, winter? I don't know. Universities have it weird. But I'm in Florida, so I just see the same weather. So I don't know when winter starts.
Lucky you. Do you need any additional resources for any of these things?
I think just review. And then if anybody, I know somebody messaged me on the Slack for winter term would be nice to start talking to them about winter.
Okay.
So for the winter, you say you need some universities, or what is it that you need for the winter, spring?
Yeah, some universities. We'll probably continue with Purdue and UT Dallas, but maybe bring on another university starting January of next year, so that we can continue trickling. And as we continue with the different semesters, we add more universities into the program.
Can I add social your mentorship call, Yessie?
Yes, I'm waiting for Jennifer to release an OpenSSF post with a lovely little graphic. And then, but if you want to go ahead and blast now, more than welcome to. I'm just waiting for that one.
Good deal. Oh, and we want to talk about the DE&I office hours too. And
yeah, I added that in there. This came from last call, and I think we might have missed the window. We were trying to get something in the books for this week before KubeCon. I think KubeCon is next week, and everyone's going to be really busy from then on for a couple of weeks. So I just wanted to bring that up, just like, what are we thinking? What do we want to do next on that avenue? And the goal is, again, a lot of this came from Sal saying that she gets asked a bunch of questions per month, and if we could just like funnel that into one DI office hours for the hostels, maintainers, etc., that would be very helpful. So with that in mind, do we want to kind of like still do it within the next couple of weeks, or push that to probably later on?
Do we want to have it just as a one-off, or do we want to have it as like a weekly or bi-weekly thing or a monthly thing?
I think initially the thought was monthly. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, we can do one with the Alpha Omega mentorship. Just talk about that.
Okay.
I think that was the initial
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so do you want to set it up for timing?
Alpha Omega mentorship, and then maybe we can do something monthly. Have like a either beginning or end of the month.
Yeah.
So they're saying sometime towards the end of April for the Alpha Omega?
It could be next week or the following week.
Is next week the bad week? I think April 17th was the bad week. Conferences. No?
Yeah, next week's
That's the week after.
After? Okay.
I think next weekend is B-sides, and then going right into RSA, which goes right into the Open Summit is about a week after that, week and a half after that. I'm not sure what's happening in the middle of RSA and the Open Summit. This is getting buck wild. They need to cut this out. Space this stuff out.
Yeah, my calendar is getting full. I like it, but I don't.
Just wait until August.
Oh
Okay.
God. Oh no. Oh no.
So do you want to squeeze something in on the week between RSA and B-side, or what's the thought?
I think with the week of marketing, we should be good. So end of next week, so April 19th, 20, 21st, or at the beginning of the following week, 24th or
Okay.
25th.
Anywhere between the April 19th and the 24th.
Yeah.
Well, I know the 24th through the 27th and 28th is RSA.
Okay.
I may or may not be outside. I got an expo pass, but I kind of boycotted our RSA years ago, just because the minute I saw like models, you know what I mean? Like I'm talking about like IGF, IMG models, like at RSA. I just didn't understand it. Like handing out swag.
RSA lost me when they had the cast of CSI Cyber as keynoters.
Sorry.
Why would they do that?
I lost all respect for that conference.
Yes. It was like, oh God, I can't do this anymore. I stopped. I was like, oh no, I'm not. I can't.
The worst conference.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it after that. Like it just became too much. I was like, this is it. People walking around, people are wearing like they're getting swag backpacks and wearing them the same day and then filling them up, and the models are pretending to talk about tech, and then of course the cast members from this show and that. No, there's a lot.
Was the swag any good?
The social events.
Nicole has a very important question.
Huh? I didn't hear that last part.
I said, was the swag any good?
No. You get T-shirts that you never wear. You know what I mean? You get hats that you never see again, pens. It's just not good swag. It's not good swag.
It wasn't even alcohol or lobster meat?
No. No, they're not going to give you alcohol. Although if they did, more people would attend. Actually, it'd be more realistic to what we go through during the course of a day. If they ever handed out like little small things of vodka or scotch or something like that, every true cyber professional would line up. This is the conference for us. They get it. They understand. Yes, yes. Before every meeting and then afterwards too. That's right. All right, good deal.
Oh no, back to the
Good
question
amount
of
liquor at ShmooCon.
yeah.
ShmooCon. Oh, well, I've never been to a ShmooCon before, but I heard some great things about ShmooCon. I heard some great things.
Oh, there's a couple of things going back to the office hours. If you want to do it between the 19th and the 24th, do you want to pick a day? Because I know Krobi said last time that you could potentially link up with Jen Bly and set something up. But what would you need for us to actually do that?
A day and a time,
Okay.
and a little bit of lead time.
Okay.
And then, yeah, if we like, we could write up a little announcement. But yeah, not a lot.
Mhm.
A topic.
Start with like the goals of the DEI, and then this is our starting piece of it. I've been
Okay.
blasting it in all the communities I know.
Okay. So you're saying since you'd be probably like more focused around Alpha Omega, did you want to pick a date time that works mostly for you, at least around?
Thursday between 12 and 3 seem Thursday the 20th
Okay.
right now is free. Make sure nothing on my personal. No.
Between what times again?
11 and 3
Okay.
Eastern.
Eastern. Very important.
Yeah.
Because we have some friends in the UK and some friends in California.
Mhm.
Yeah, we can probably record it and then share that out too.
Mhm.
All right, so we ran through our opens as well. So that's the opens. Do we have any? I mean, we have 22 minutes left. Is there anything else anybody wants to bring up, or talk about, or share?
Yes. So since I have been checking on some of the cyber stuff, I found out they're redoing the White House STEM workforce strategy. And they had these town halls, which were strongly dominated by academia education people. And to me, not enough STEM professional people. And so the group actually is looking for input for all people, and they set up a LinkedIn group, and they have an email address, and I can upload all of that there because I thought that might be useful as we look to do certain initiatives, that you would already have a list of POCs from various DEI organizations, not only D&I, but DEI, but people looking to do new things with STEM learning, STEM education. But they also have a thing where they're setting up office hours where they can have a conversation and take a perspective with different organizations or groups. And so I can provide that email, but I think that will be some good, easy, low-hanging fruit if we could agree on 3 or 4 topics and set up a meeting and then say we gave input to the House for their outreach for STEM planning, and all it took was us coming together on 3 points and talking to them for 30 minutes.
Yeah, wonderful. I'm with that.
What's the timing for this?
Well, you can send them an email and set up the time. I have done nothing but got the information, but it's pretty open.
Okay. Is it, do you mind, do you have access? Do you have access to the Google Doc? You can drop like a link or some information or a contact?
Yes.
maybe in the
Well, I
chat.
will forward you the email I have for them setting up the open houses, and then I can just put a blurb and you can figure out what you want to say. But I thought that was really easy and something that could look good for DEI.
Well, we got 20 minutes right
Really
now. I mean,
require that much
unless you want to do it another time to think about these 3 to 5 bullet comments or bullet marks that we may want to discuss. I mean, I don't see a point in waiting on that. We can come up with 3 to 5 bullet comments and then send this email out. We could do that. We could do that this week. I like that idea a lot. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, we could take a look at some of the things that we're currently actively doing. The mentorship, internship stuff, the list that we're putting together with all of these organizations and understanding what the different names that are coming up for different groups, but then how do we make sure that we maintain a tight eye across, and not just what we do here domestically, but internationally as well, what things are going on elsewhere and how we can be better partners, especially since this is a White House thing. How can we become better partners globally towards a lot of these efforts in STEM, right? I mean, we can talk about that. We have stuff here that we can bring up that benefits or is impactful to what we have going on in our roadmap, but that could possibly be also impactful to others that would hear our questions and take in our suggestions at the White House level.
Yep. So you wanted to talk about the 3 topics right now, and what we're gonna figure out and put on the email, or do you want to do it async? I guess because I haven't seen the email.
I'll leave that up to the team here. I mean, we have 17 minutes here. We could take 17 minutes and do this since we're through our agenda and our opens. We could take 17 minutes to do it, or we can take it offline into Slack and just throw us comments down there. Up to the people in the room here.
We could start with bullet points and then take it to Slack.
Yeah.
Bullets and then draft it in Slack.
Sure.
Okay.
So I threw up a few suggestions on the bullet comments. What says others?
Okay. I was trying to
the only thing I would say when we're giving input is to really give the input, I would say, to cover 2 things. One, being a group of STEM professionals, right? As far as what's seen, what's needed, what's worked kind of for people in the workforce, because part of the initiative behind this is increasing the STEM workforce. And a lot of people on the call focused on trying to educate the youth, but there's still a good portion of the STEM workforce that's leaving early. You're not retaining people in the STEM workforce, right? And then also leveraging open source as a teaching point at all levels, right? For professionals who want to,
okay.
Yeah, so let's say you were a coder and you want to get into security. You might not be able to get a job, but you could get some experience volunteering with an open source group and focusing on the security that could help you just the same, right? And especially as people are looking at expanding open source and supply chain management, all of those things wrapped around with using open source, I think it is not heavily marketed as a tool that can help educate everyone. So that would be my 2 cents to kind of focus in there, because none of that was brought up in the one session I listened to. It was really a bunch of educators complaining about the problems in education, a couple grad students who felt like their grad programs weren't preparing them. And I just don't feel like they got a good representation of STEM professionals period, right? Not even DEI, just period, as far as what people are looking for. And how do you really train people for jobs that don't exist 10 years in the future, right? That's the
Okay, so if we were to button that up into like a bullet comment, I mean, I'm starting with retention and reclamation. Especially when we talk about, you know, people leaving the profession, how to keep that experience, and keep them from leaving, but then also how to take the coders who want to be security professionals, and then, you know, kind of, because regardless, you know, coding is as part of the game, how to reclaim them into security, and then but what are we looking at as a bullet comment? Go ahead, Crow.
I feel we should start off talking about the efforts of the foundation and the SIG.
Mm-hmm.
We have a body of material that is freely available and is targeted at both, you know, newcomers, existing people who are trying to switch careers. So we have a lot of opportunity, a lot of material that's available. And we also have commitments that we're going to be making new material to focus in on different personas and whatnot. So I think that's a great starting point. And then we could move into the ideas about like the digital portfolio curation and the mentorship, and then talk about internships. So I think there are a lot of ways, but I would start off with the fact that the foundation is already working on this, trying to provide these materials to any learner anywhere of any skill level. And these are skills we feel are necessary to continue not only, you know, the profession, but also to help people, you know, understand what the foundational principles are to get jobs and continue to work.
Okay, so that's a wow. So we have a one that's kind of something that's very profession in nature, and then we have something that's very profession but specific to what we do in the OSSF, which both are outstanding. How do we articulate that better then? Because I think that, you know, both of these should be included. I'm not sure if they should be included in the same conversation at the same time. They might be different discussions. We could make them the same discussion, but I think if we had 3 to 5 bullet comments and we only had 15 minutes, that's like you're going. They're not even on different ends of the spectrum. They're just 2 different spectrums altogether. All right. Where do we go? Which way do we go?
And I quickly just sharing the email information I got from Nicole. And this is the document that might give you more context, and looks like they're looking for you to either send brief comments, but you could also drop in on an office hours session and request to talk more about it. So I can also share this with the mailing list. I guess just with the mailing list so folks can have like access to it. But this is just going to give you a sneak peek at it.
It seems like right in line with a lot of the stuff that we're aspiring to do from a DE&I perspective. I mean, this is not different. I mean, we can talk to each one of these from a DE&I perspective. So I mean, we're right in line. I do see though, and of course to what you were speaking about before, Nicole, that workforce area speaks to that. Speaks to that a bit. With the exception of I think the retention and reclamation piece is not there, but could be squeezed in there depending upon how you're talking about it with each one of these specific I'll call them bullets for under workforce. But of course, you'll have that other part that says workforce development. Which will talk about the piece where coders who want to be cyber and internships and all that kind of stuff. I think we can pepper a lot of stuff that we can create our bullets that talk. If we had 1 or 2 bullets for each one of these, that'll be a good place for us to start. I think that the 9 minutes we have here ain't going to do that though. So now that I see this slide, now that I see this right here, I think this requires a bit more time for us to tease out, because this will be like 1 or 2, maybe even 3 bullets for each one of these. Because I think each one of these we can go into at length for what we want to do or what we're talking about, DE&I specific.
And Nicole, what you were sharing something that even though they may want something in April, we could potentially do something in May.
Yeah, so like when they had the calls, they actually ran short on time, which was just so different from that race call where they didn't have enough time. But I think if you just send an email and say, hey, we'd like to do office hours, but we are a professional organization with people located internationally around the world, we would like to request some time in May. And I think they would be more than happy to accommodate that, right? Because they're looking for input. And I can tell you from that list, it is a lot of academia and very few professional orgs like this. So I think as long as you got them an email within 2 weeks, I don't think they would fight you on setting up office hours.
Sure. Okay. What else we got? We got 8 minutes left. Hearing nothing. Let's break for 8 minutes. I know some of us got 9s. I got a 9. No. I got 2 9s. Oh.
I canceled my second and third.
Oh, God, such is life. Anyway, all right, guys, until the next one.
Thank you, everyone.
Keep probe at some other point this week, though. Huck, it's got us. At some point, we got to stop. All right, guys.
All right, bye.
See ya.
Bye.